Salut! Are you preparing for DELF A1 or A2 level exams? If so, this video lesson is going to be useful for you, especially if you are learning French for taking DELF level exams. First, a very important tip. This lesson is given in English, but if you are more comfortable in Hindi language, you can also watch the Hindi version of this lesson by clicking on the link given in the description. Well, let's continue. I'm sure that you know how many marks you can score in DELF A1 writing session, which is called Production écrite. Yes, it's 25 marks, and out of these 25 marks, 10 marks are reserved for a task which requires you to fill out a form. Compléter un formulaire. In fact, this task is easier than writing a letter or essay, but many students take it so lightly and end up scoring only 5 or 6 marks out of 10 in this task. But if you watch this video carefully and follow all the tips and strategies, you can score even 10 out of 10 in this task. Well, what types of forms should I fill? You just need to fill out a very simple form that you usually come across in your actual life, such as a club membership form, joining a library, a short questionnaire, hotel check-in form, etc. How many items or gaps should I fill? As I already mentioned, it's a task for 10 marks, so you can expect around 10 questions in this task. But sometimes the form may contain only 8 or 9 gaps and sometimes even as many as 11 or 12. In such cases, scores are adjusted by giving half marks or double marks so that your writing examiner can score you out of 10. Anyway, now let's try a sample form filling task. Vous habitez Paris. Vous voulez vous inscrire dans une école de langue. Vous remplissez cette fiche d'inscription. It means you live in Paris, you want to enroll in a language school, fill out this registration form. Now, let's fill this form one by one. Well, first of all, nom. Here, what should we write? Our full name, first name or last name? Come on, tell me. Yes, if you said last name, then you are right. No means last name. If you write your full name or first name here, you will lose the marks. So make sure you do not make this mistake. Another important thing to remember is that sometimes you will see some cross marks in the blank for no. It shows that you do not need to write a family name there. By the way, if you want to know more about how to use first name, family name, middle name, surname, last name, etc. in French, I have made another detailed video. Please check the description or click the I button to watch that video. Our next item is prénom. It means your first name. Please do not confuse this word with another confusing French word, pronom. Prénom means first name and pronom means pronoun. Here, I would like to tell you an interesting incident. A few years ago, one of my students wrote je in the gap for prénom in the form filling task of her DELF A1 exam because she thought prénom means pronoun. Please make sure you do not do such a silly thing. Let's move to the next item, that is date de naissance. It's fairly easy. Date de naissance literally means date of birth. Here an important thing to remember is that you should write your date of birth only in the European style. That is the date first, then the month and the year last. Please remember that you cannot write the date in the American style in your DELF exams. That is in the format of month, date and year. Another way of writing your date of birth is this one. But make sure that you don't make any spelling mistakes while writing the names of month in French. And also remember that the French months start with a small letter, not like in English. This kind of minor errors could cut your full marks by half, so beware. The next item is nationalité, which obviously means nationality. Here, you need to write your nationality in French spelling. No doubt, there are separate masculine and feminine word forms for nationalities in French. But in official documents, nationalities are usually written according to the grammatical gender of a country. For example, if you are from France, you should write Française as your nationality in formal documents. It doesn't matter you are a male or female. Why? Because the French word France as a noun is a feminine word. So, its adjective form also should be feminine, which is Française. Now, let's move on to the next item, which is situation familiale. At first glance, this expression looks like the English translation of family situation. But what does situation familiale actually mean? It means marital status. That is whether you are married, single, divorced or something else. So, here you can write célibataire if you are single, marié if you are married, or divorcé if you are divorced. In order to speak about our marital status, there are some other words also, just like we say in English, I'm separated, I'm in relationship, I'm a widow, etc. If you are interested to learn these expressions in French, I have made another video on it. Please check the description for the link. The next item is pretty easy, profession. Sometimes it's also written as situation professionnelle. Both these expressions mean the same, and all you have to do is just write the name of your profession or job. For example, I will write here professeur. And if you are a male teacher, then you should write professeur. Now, if you want to learn about more professions, so I have made a detailed video. And you know where is the link? Yes, in the description. So go ahead. The next item is adresse. Here, you don't need to write a very long address like many of us have in India. In India, most postal addresses are so long, like the name of the person, son of so and so, house number, village name, tehsil name, district name, etc. Oh my God. But French postal addresses are often short, and you need to write only a short address in your DELF A1 form filling task. Just name of the street, postal code with city name and country. You can use a fictitious address with French place names. No doubt, you can use your own actual address, but I think if you write a fake address with French place names, you can make a better impression on your writing examiner. After all, they are checking your French language knowledge and awareness about French culture through this test. If you still need help with some easy to remember French addresses, I have made a short video with some samples. Please check the description. An important tip. In some forms, a separate entry will be there for code postal. If so, you don't need to repeat it in the blank space for your address. Now, numéro de téléphone. Yes, it's very clear that numéro de téléphone means telephone number. Some forms may contain only the word numéro. Even in such cases, you are supposed to write your telephone number. The number could be a landline phone number or a mobile number. You don't need to, you should not give your own real phone number. Well, the next item is courriel. What does it mean? It simply means email. Please don't confuse courriel with another French word courrier, which means mail, post or courier. And fortunately, email IDs are written in the same way in most languages of the world. So, you can just write your email exactly as you write it in English. For example, noahfrenchcampus@gmail.com. Remember, sometimes you will find the word mail in the place of courriel in form filling task. Don't forget the French word mail also means email. And finally, quelle langue voulez-vous apprendre? Which can be translated as what language do you want to learn? If you want to write that you want to learn German, then just write allemand. Or if you want to say Spanish, then just write Espanol. So, overall, you got some idea about how to attempt the Compléter un formulaire task of DELF A1 level writing test. However, this is just one example of several form filling tasks that you may expect in your DELF A1 level exam. For more practice, you can search on the internet and do as many form filling tasks as possible in French. Or if you really understand the way I teach, then you can buy my books on this subject. The title of the book is 50 Compléter un formulaire exercice pour DELF A1 exam. Please follow the link in the description or contact us on the number given on the screen. Let me give you some highlights of this book. 50 Compléter un formulaire task, fully solved answer key, past real DELF A1 sample task, extra tips and explanation, available both in Hindi and English. And before winding up today's lesson, do let me know if you are interested in our online DELF or TEF exam preparation course. You can get high quality personalized lesson through the language that you are most comfortable with, be it Hindi, English or Punjabi. You can enroll in various French courses with us such as DELF A1, A2, B1, B2, TEF, TCF, French school syllabus, French speaking course and many more. Call us or WhatsApp us for more details. Classes are available according to Indian, Canadian and African times. Au revoir!